What is up, everyone? Welcome to L2R2 PlayStation Podcast. My name's Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev, and my UK bruv from another mum, Cal Monroe. Cal, how are you?
Yep, good. Feeling very aerodynamic and fast. So yeah, it should be a good one.
You have to oil up your body too, so you can just move faster too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like I could just sort of like glide through the air, sort of the wind just,
You know what
just passing by my head.
that reminds me when I was a kid, and my family still gives me shit for it to this day, but I would tell my mom to like look behind me as I'm running, because like I swear that there'd be like flames behind me. I was running so fast, so I was like, hey mom, look behind me. There's am I leaving like, smoke trails or something? And she's like, yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah, like that's just because you're like worried about the environment, weren't you? You didn't want to like cause any
Yeah,
fires or
it's
anything.
like, hey, get a fire extinguisher
Yeah.
handy, because I'm gonna be blasting through. Nice. Well, how you been?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I've just been busy. I was up seeing my sister over the week, and just getting back to being busy, and not a lot to be honest. How about you?
Nothing crazy. Yeah, we just got I was telling you a new dog yesterday, and so we're getting her
Mhm.
used to the new place, and we got a bunch of dog stuff ready, and we already got her like used to like going bathroom outside, and so
Yeah,
it's so far it's smooth, and she's like taken
yeah,
to us really well, and so it's really cool, and everybody
nice.
loves her.
Yeah, very exciting.
It's very exciting. Yeah, so now I'm gonna be getting a little stroller, pushing her around, and then one of those little like baby carriage things in the front.
Yeah, yeah, I can. I think that'll suit you actually.
Yeah, I'll just go to the playground and just have my little dog with me.
Yeah,
But yeah, beyond that, and then like some crazy PC troubles. I was trying to troubleshoot with you over the
yeah.
week, but getting that hopefully back up and running. But playing a lot of VR, like the Oculus Quest,
Oh
and
yeah,
just
nice. Yeah,
just getting super into it. I was playing this newer game called like Box VR on PSVR, because it's on there too. But they had
Mhm.
this update now. It's
Yeah,
called Fit VR, but it's this boxing VR game, and it's very much like Beat Saber, where you're punching to the beat, uppercuts and certain jabs and stuff, and then ducking too. So
yeah,
it's basically like you're squatting, you're dodging, you're punching. It's a pretty
yeah,
intense workout. Like it quickly becomes
yeah. Nice.
taxing, but it's really fun.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think it's I don't think a lot of people sort of realize how good for exercise they could be, especially for like people who just sit inside and play games all the time. They're
Right.
great for that kind of thing. Yeah, because I was just saying I saw my sister and she's got an Oculus Quest as well, and I was playing a game called Bullet Whip or Pistol Whip or something.
Oh, that's
Um,
next on my list. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's really good fun. I definitely recommend that. But yeah, again, like you just get so knackered just from like trying to dodge out the way of bullets and I found myself like proper squatting like so close to the ground just because like there'd be like three guys all firing bullets at me, so I had to like somehow duck under them all. And yeah, there's definitely a sweat on that you can get on a lot of those games.
Do you have to stop yourself from like head kicking them, like just relying on your training?
Yeah, I need controllers for my feet.
That's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, maybe they can make some kind of UFC experience, but you have to incorporate the feet, which I don't see a lot of VR units
Yeah,
even try. But
no. No, I don't know how that would work because I mean they can sort of pick up your hands now without controllers, can't they? So maybe there's something, but I suppose you'd have to like kick into view kind of thing. So
that's the thing. Yeah, like the
unless there's
Oculus
some
has
like
the
off screen, yeah,
right, because yeah, the Oculus has these cameras that will track your hands, but you really have to be almost looking down, because the cameras they're
mm,
all around the unit, but they're really on the bottom to see your hand. So
yeah,
yeah, unless
yeah,
you're kicking high up every time, or
yeah,
there's got to be like simple stuff you can put on your feet. I know there's that one thing
yeah.
for Switch that like is a band that you can put around your thigh or something. So there's
Okay,
technology out there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just get like a full mocap suit, like with the baubles on and everything, and
Yeah,
that'd be
I'm
fine.
almost curious to to purchase something like
Yeah.
that, because
They look quite comfy to be fair. You wear them to bed, I reckon. They got like the soft balls on them, and
right, you don't
it'd
even
be
need a
quite
bed. You
nice.
could just lay on the ground because of the soft
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, playing
yeah.
that, and then also on Beat Saber, they released this Linkin Park pack. I don't know if you ever listened to Linkin Park, but they are
Mhm.
celebrating like their 20th, which makes you feel old, but it's like 20 years since their first album. So they're putting out a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff, and also the songs are on Beat Saber. So I'm just like rocking out to
Oh,
that and
nice.
feel like I'm
Yeah,
back in middle school. And yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you gotta love sort of their old school stuff's great, and it's just nice nostalgia and
Right.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, their
Yeah,
newer stuff,
awesome. Yeah,
they kept pumping out albums like too fast. I think there was just like a bunch of them,
yeah.
and
You
there'd
can't
be
just it's hard to like keep track with it, isn't it?
yeah, they kind of I'm not saying like lost their way, but like there's just I think they're just doing too much, and like just hey, take a break,
Yeah,
take 4 years, and then put out an album. Get the best ones in
yeah,
there. But
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely love like Meteora and Hybrid Theory, and they're
yep,
definitely the best ones.
oh yeah, and the Beat
But yeah,
Saber
I
pack has
think
that.
it doesn't matter what song. I think they're all like good songs. Like I'm one of those people that just if a song sounds fine, I'll like it. I'm not like some people are like really real purists, like oh it's not heavy enough or it's not this enough, and I just like a song if it sounds good, then I like it or whatever. But
Yeah, are you a big music guy? Where do you have any stuff you're listening to lately?
Yeah, like it's gonna sound really cliche, but I do genuinely like love like my Spotify is just full of like just the weirdest concoctions of different genres and things. But no, I really love like KG Elephant. I don't know if you had
Yep,
them.
they're cool. Oh yeah,
Um, and at the moment, I've been listening to a lot of The Darkness. I know they're a British band, a
oh, I
British
remember
sort of
them. Yeah,
rock
yeah, yeah.
band, because they were really local to where I grew up. So they were kind of like local heroes to me.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, they're because we have a festival every year here called Download Festival, which is a big rock festival.
I've heard of
Um,
this one. Yeah,
yeah, and obviously that didn't happen this year or whatever, but next year they've already announced their lineup just to try and get people excited for it. And yeah, the Darkness are there, so I think I'm going to go just to I might bring like a flag for like the place I used to live in and see if they spot it. But yeah, no, I literally just yeah, I think yeah, I'm listening to a lot of the Darkness at the moment just because I think similar to like what you're saying about Linkin Park, like they brought out a lot of albums I didn't really get round to listening to. So I like to use things like festivals or gigs to like as a reason to catch up on like some bands like backlogs. But I'm a bit weird. Like if I listen to a band, I want to know all their songs. So like I'll like try and listen to all their albums, and I like to like listen to how the albums change as well. Like as they go on, I always find that quite interesting. But yeah, yeah, like all sorts. What sort of music? I saw one when you were doing art once. You were listening to some pretty heavy stuff.
I forget what I was listening to, but yeah, I've done that. Which I realized later on that I guess Twitch is pretty extreme with like with copyrighted
Oh,
stuff now,
really?
so they'll just shut you down. But I didn't realize that, and so I was kind of running
Yeah, how
illegally.
can you
But
break a law? How can you break a law you don't know exists?
yeah,
Like
there
you
you
can't
go.
just
I tell the cops every
yeah.
time. But
Yeah, yeah, like, yeah.
I forget what I was listening to. Like, I'm a big. There's this band called the Deftones. I'm a big fan of them. Most
Yeah, oh,
likely, I
yeah.
was listening to them. They just put out a new single the other day too.
Yeah.
But I notice a lot of bands like, and I'll follow them on Twitter, and they'll say, especially this other band called AFI, they have their album done, but they're waiting to see when's the best time to release it, because normally the schedule would be you put out the album, you go tour, but you can't do that. So they're trying to figure out, do we just go all digital? Do we wait and then tour on the stuff? Will
Yeah,
people be sick of
yeah,
these songs by that time? I'm not sure how you
yeah.
do it, but
It is weird. Yeah, I think Deftones are at Download as well next year, so I'll
nice.
take a video of them for you.
There you
You
go.
can you can pretend you're
Yeah, just like woo.
there.
I'll put on my VR unit, and there we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm surprised more concerts don't do that. There was a rapper by the name of Childish Gambino. I remember he did a VR
Mm,
thing where they put up like a special camera that has like just the sensors on each side, and every side like 360, and you're basically in the crowd watching it. But I just don't see
mhm.
a lot of people do that. You know what? There's this other band called Under Oath, and they actually did a stream concert, and so you pay tickets to actually watch it, and it was like $10 a ticket.
Mhm.
You get to watch a
Yeah.
stream, and so it's like you're watching a concert, and they actually did a full production. There's the lights and the stage, and
Mhm.
it's all this like 360 camera stuff, and that was really rad.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised
Yeah.
more bands don't try and kind of fill this time with
Yeah.
something they can sell, because right now they can't do anything.
Well, even before lockdown, I always thought VR needs to be more in like events, so like live things, so like sport, and it'd be really good, and yeah, music would be awesome, and yeah, I don't know why it's not more of it, especially now. I'm surprised not more
Right.
people are doing it. But yeah, I know a friend of mine watched. I think it was a band called Dream Theater. He's really into, and they did a
Oh yeah,
live
I've heard of them.
um, and they did like a live stream or a live gig online, which he sort of watched. So um, yeah, I think that could be quite nice for like sort of introverted people as well who want to sort of experience it live but don't want to go and be around people. And
Right.
there was actually something. my brother's a big WWE fan, and I was around his last night, and he had it on, and they've just like taken over this new place which they're going to be using for whilst they can't have an audience, and the audience is literally just screens,
Oh,
and then
really?
it's like people watching like on a webcam, and it looked
Whoa.
really strange, but the cool thing was it's because it's all like purpose built for them. It's like they can do all these amazing like light shows and stuff like that. So it looks really high production. But yeah, when all like the fans are there, it looks really like I don't know, it looks really trippy and weird because it's just a bunch of screens of like people's faces staring at you. So but yeah, hopefully soon we'll see some VR events and things because I'd love to sort of watch something live that I don't have to actually physically go to because that takes all the effort bit out of it.
Yeah, I always wish, and me and my wife talk about this, like as I get older, I wish I could just teleport into the venue and then teleport right out. It's like I don't want to deal with any of the
Yeah,
parking,
yeah,
the
yeah,
lines to the bathroom. It's like, but I love going to concerts. It's just I hate people, so it's
yeah,
this battle in my brain. But
yeah,
yeah, you mentioned with the screens thing, it's very much like we've quickly gone into like Black Mirror territory where just
yeah,
in a matter of
definitely.
months we have this as maybe
Yeah,
that's the norm for a lot of stuff. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess you got
It's
to do what you
very
got to
Black
do.
Mirror-esque.
You know what? We used to have a drive-through in our town, which like closed down years ago. Is the drive-through, is that a staple in the UK? Is that something that you'll find, or is that also kind of dead?
What, like a
Like,
drive-through cinema
yes,
or,
yes.
like yeah, yeah, that's, actually I got some friends going to one tonight,
Oh, really?
and I was considering going, but it's quite expensive to take your car, and it's like £30 to bring your car or whatever, and I was just like, I can't really be bothered to and it's, The Lost Boys, which is on, which is a great film, but, yeah, I've seen it before, and I don't really wanna spend £30 to watch
Yeah,
it, but,
to watch this old movie.
uh, yeah, but yeah, no, yeah, we've got some of them around here. I've just never been to them before. But yeah, that's another thing that I suppose is probably gonna get bigger now, isn't it, as well? Because, I mean, that's you can't really get more socially distant than sitting in your car and watching a film, and
Right?
I saw on the website, like, they play the movie audio through your radio or something,
Gotcha. Yeah, I know
which,
that's
like
how they nowadays, like the newer ones will just, yeah, they just
yeah,
broadcast. You tune it to the right station and then you hear the audio.
yeah. Which is, like, really weird because I don't even know like, I only use my Bluetooth in my car for, like, my phone, so I have no idea how to even tune or I've got, like, digital radio as well, so, like, it's all just done for you, so I'd have no idea what I was doing. I'd be, like, pressing loads of buttons and I'll just watch it and just sort of ask if they can put subtitles on or something.
Right, you're the one guy. Yeah, no, same. Like we talked about that too, and yeah, it's like I never use my radio for anything. It's like I just hook up my phone to it. So I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
I'll be trying to fiddle with that. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean anything
yeah,
they can do because like no, I think across the board, I feel like movie theaters in general are kind of people are just not going as much as staying at home and watching. So anything they can do to kind of bring people back, I'm surprised they're not just trying to quickly
yeah,
build rudimentary stuff that they can like take down if they need to. But at least in the United States, like this stuff ain't going away anytime soon. So take the time and
mhm,
build a drive-in movie theater.
yeah, 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 exactly, yeah. I think we've had a few, around here 'cause I think they're a very American, like, 80s or even earlier than 80s, isn't it? It's probably more
Sure.
like 60s
60s,
kind of
70s,
thing.
yeah, yep.
Um, so and I think in the UK, we're kinda like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, that's a cool outside thing. So I think we've got quite a few around us, and I think even before lockdown, we had a few as well, but it's just never something I really thought about doing, but I think because of the current situation, our cinemas are open now, I think, but I'm still not comfortable in going to them because that's a bit too close for comfort, but,
Right.
um, yeah, drive-in cinema now would be perfect, but yeah, not I wouldn't have minded if I'd gone in someone else's car or something and, split but for me to just drive up on my own and spend 30 quid to watch a film is just, yeah, it's not it's sort of my Scottish in me not wanting to break the bank or anything.
That's why you gotta just drive Uber. So you drive up there and you're already making money.
Mm,
Just
yeah.
charging per seat. There you go.
Yeah.
There's some comedians in the United States that are doing these tours that are drive-through comedy tours. Like people, they're using like these empty lots. You drive up and then they have a stage, but everyone stays in their cars and they do comedy that way. So I've heard of a couple of tours that are doing that, and it's an interesting idea. But they kind of have to innovate and try something because there's no way to
Yeah.
have people meet up, and it's going to be a while too. So got to figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah. It is gonna be a long old time, I think.
Yeah, and you mentioned even in your guys' area, it's getting better, but you still have people there. It's like I don't necessarily want to still rub elbows with someone. I want to kind of wait this out or wait for a vaccine. So even if we do start, the numbers start dropping, I think we're still going to have people wait a while to feel comfortable,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. So it's going to be a while before we get back to any kind of normal. We had tickets for this band, My Chemical Romance. They were like doing this reunion tour thing, but only in stadiums. They announced that like right before COVID. And like stadiums have to be the last thing that goes back to normal, because that's what, thousands of people in one area. I mean, that's a petri dish.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's weird over here because it's sort of, we're kind of like stagnating and then going up and then going up, and it's, so I mean, I think we're all trying. Even the advert, like the commercials on the television, are sort of talking about, getting back out there and trying to like live normally again. So it's definitely the sort of narrative, but there is still that underlying, like, we got to be careful. We don't want to
Right.
have a second spike, and I think I'm sort of trying to live a bit normally again. I mean, work's still very hit and miss, like very much. I work from home most of the time, but in terms of like socializing, I'm still going out. I've been going to like pubs and things recently, and but I think you just have to sort of draw the line somewhere. You just have to think of everything logically and just be
Right.
careful. But it's fairly safe at the moment, just because of how, I think it's something like um, 1 in 18,000 people or something might have it, or something. It's very, very small odds at the moment. So
Gotcha.
you can't. I think when the odds are that small, you sort of can't just let yourself get too worked up about it and let yourself sort of suffer from it. So I'm trying to return to normality. But yeah, things like cinemas and things are just too, because they're quite manky anyway. They're quite
Yeah, that's one thing we're all realizing. It's like, oh, we're living a super gross life for the past couple years. Like, no one sanitized anything.
Everyone's going to be like super like sanitary freaks now, which probably isn't a bad thing. But,
right, we need some of that, yeah, because we were getting too used to living like cavemen. But
yeah, exactly.
Did you get to play any games over the week?
It's been one of those weeks where I'm sort of like dipped in and out of a few things. I've actually started. I've sort of kind of got this like writing gig for a company doing game reviews. It's like a tech company.
Oh, nice.
And they're looking for someone to start doing or to help them with their game reviews. And it's unpaid, but I get to like keep the games I review. So like I'll get keys for games, because they're quite a big website, it seems, and I get like keys for games that are coming out, so I get them early. I get to keep them, which is quite cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm doing. So I've been playing Pathfinder Kingmaker, which has actually just come out on PS4 and Xbox.
Okay.
Like the definitive edition of it. So I've been doing that, which it's actually a game I played when it originally came out a couple of years ago. It's kind of like a party-based old school RPG, kind of like Baldur's Gate and Pillars of Eternity and all that. So yeah, so I've been playing that, been enjoying that. Playing it with the controller, because that's one of the new things with the updated version, and that's been pleasantly surprising. I never thought I'd play a game like that with a controller, but they've like overhauled everything, like the HUD and everything, so that it works really well. So yeah, that's been good fun. But yeah, other than that, nothing really. I played a little bit of Dead Cells on PlayStation Now, because I didn't realize it was on PlayStation Now.
Oh, nice.
Because that's a game I've been meaning to try out for a while, and that seems like a lot of fun as well. So yeah, so I've just been sort of like testing the waters for some games, ready to sort of jump it. Oh, actually, there was a game I played. What was it? Watam. I don't know if you heard of that.
That sounds familiar. What is it? If you can describe it, I'll look up footage of it too.
I don't actually know if I can even describe it. It's so weird. It's made by the guys who did that I Am Katamari.
Oh, is that where like are you food, or you're trying to like eat stuff or poop stuff? I forget what you do.
Yeah, that is right. But like that, yeah, it's the weirdest experience I've ever had. I was playing it with my little niece because she really likes it. It's like, when you like watch, like, I don't know if you've ever seen like like baby TV, like where they have these weird like nonsensical cartoons. It's like that, but a game, and it was just really, really strange. So yeah, I've just been playing some bits and pieces, but not too much. How about you?
Yeah, just the PSVR, the Oculus VR stuff, really, while my PC's out. Yeah, just staying fit, just getting my workouts in. And yeah, that Watam, I do want to play that. I keep forgetting about it because I love Katamari. and just that
Yeah.
world. It's so cute and just weird, and it's very Japanese, and I just like I want to live in that world. But yeah, that's on my
Yeah,
list.
the yeah, it's very, very strange if you play it. I actually thought it was when I first sort of started playing it, I thought it was like made in Dreams because it was really similar like style to Dreams, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan. It was too weird. It was too. There's not really a point to it. It doesn't make any sense, and like it runs really badly as well. Like
Oh,
it's a
really?
really simple looking game.
Right.
Yeah, it's like as soon as the camera points up to the skybox, it just like drops frames really badly. So yeah, it wasn't the best experience I've had, but I'm kind of glad I did experience it just because it is quite strange.
Yeah, for sure. You think it would run well because it's just like simple textures and stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe there's
right.
just
Yeah.
so much under the hood, or it's not optimized, or whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless I mean, I played it for about an hour or two. So unless like after a certain amount of time, it opens up to this huge like thing, and it was all sort of hidden underneath. But I don't think so. It was yeah, very very strange, horrible game. The kind of game you'd like have a nightmare about, and then you wouldn't be able to like explain it when you woke up.
Right. That's actually good. They should put that on the box. That's a good description of what's going on. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Like, I really my go to now is to jump into Fall Guys. I've yet to
Mhm.
win an actual match, but still playing it
You'll
and
get there.
having fun.
You'll get it.
I don't know, man, because it's like it's all randomized the levels, and so you kind of have to luck out. And there's some where the
Yeah,
fruit is they're like throwing huge fruit at you, and you're on a conveyor belt, and I have no way of winning that one. So I always know if that's towards the end, I'm not going to win.
yeah,
And there's another one where it's you have to grab someone's tail and hold on to it for the longest amount of time, and someone
yeah.
always grabs my tail off of me right at the last second, and I just snap my controller in half. Like, I've never felt so much rage.
Yeah, it sounds very irritating. I still haven't given it a go. I need to add it to my library so that I've got it just in case. But yeah, I
You got
don't
to
know.
try it.
It's I just can't do multiplayer anymore just because I get so angry like knowing that that's an actual real person who's like got the better of me. I don't mind if it's like AI, but yeah, I don't like I get too competitive in multiplayer games. I just can't do it. And I think just like now the kids who were too young to play the multiplayer games back when I played them, now they're sort of old enough to play them. They're all
Right.
so much better than I am. So
Right.
like it's almost like there was all these untapped like abilities that like no people my age knew about. And then there's all these kids that sort of like started like clawing the controller and
Hmm.
doing all these weird things that gives them advantage. But yeah.
You'd think that almost like a boxer, like having new generations, try and come up and challenge them and standing the test of time. Like, you think we'd be better by dealing with this
Yeah.
younger generations coming in, but yeah, I think I
Yeah.
just stopped playing because I don't want to I don't want to be challenged by
Yeah.
them. But
Yeah.
you think if you held
Yeah.
on and kept playing, then I guess you'd be better than all of them.
Yeah, I think vet is the right word. I think I'm a multiplayer veteran. You know,
There you go.
I'm too old. I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'm washed up.
You're getting your 30% discount at the store, and then that's about it.
Yeah, I'm living off my COD 4 pension now.
Yeah, I saw that they had they're doing their full blown like teases now and like announcements for the next one, and I saw that you gave no shits about that, so that was pretty funny to see.
Yeah, I just really can't anymore. Like, there's just it's just like I just can't believe they haven't even like taken a year out yet. Like, just oh, it's just I mean, it feels like Modern Warfare's still so new, especially with how big like
Yeah,
Warzone
Warzone.
is,
Hmm.
and yeah, I just can't anymore. But the art looks cool, but yeah,
Yeah, it's just when you do it, when you're releasing 1 year at a time, or 1 year, like 1 year from the last one, it's like you can't really
mm,
innovate enough. I understand they piggyback and they use different studios,
yeah,
but it's like it's still kind of the same
well, it's
gameplay, same formula.
yeah, it's not so much even that it's like it's not it's I don't think of it as much like, oh, they don't have enough time or they're rushing it. It's more just like I just see it so often, I just don't care. Like, there's just no hype ever
Right.
because like as soon as you buy the new Call of Duty, you know in 12 months' time there's going to be another one, and it just every time. And it's like whereas like you got Battlefield 4, which had like years of support with DLC, and the community just stayed the entire time. And when you buy like a Battlefield game, I mean maybe not so much recently, but you know that you've got a decent multiplayer game that's going to see you through the next like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And then also, like, when you get to that second year or so, you're looking ahead to the next one. I've never looked ahead to the next Call of Duty because by the time, you know, I'm either bored of it really quickly, so I already don't care what's coming, or by the time you're like, like even if you're having a really good fun, it might be like 2 months away from the new one. So it's yeah, just give it some time. Just let them sit, and they can even get microtransactions from it if they so wish.
Well, yeah, I guess that's why I was always more interested in the single player because that's where it seems like it's
Mm,
something that's different. There's a story, there's a narrative, but yeah, the multiplayer is usually just rinse repeat, use the same thing. I guess it's slightly different
yeah,
now with Warzone's kind of a different change up, but it's still you're doing the same
mm,
kind of stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, I'll see what they announce, but am I going to get it day
yeah,
one? I highly doubt it, but they do often
yeah,
trick me into it though. Like I think Warzone, I
yeah,
was there day one. The last Call of Duty, I was there very
yeah,
close to launch, and they find a way to like whatever beta or demo that comes out. I'm just like, okay, I'm jumping in. They got me.
yeah, yeah. I can't promise that on day one I'm not going to be really excited and buy it 'cause that's what I did with Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
But that again was mostly for the single player. Um, and I really didn't like the multiplayer on Modern Warfare. But I don't know. It depends what happens really. If there's a new Battlefield announced, then I'll be even more so like I don't care, especially if it's what we think it is with the Battlefield 4 sort of rumors. But
right.
yeah, I'm just not sure anymore. It's just noise now. Really, Call of Duty is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm more excited for like a new because I'm still in FPS mode, like, but I want something new, something from a different developer. Like we talk about bringing back kill zones. Like I want something else
Mhm.
that's just kind of tailored to be its own like campaign experience. I want something like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
soon. So that's what I'm more in the mood for.
yeah.
Nice, Callum. So yeah, we'll go into some of the articles here. We got some lined up. This first one is about Deathloop. So we got PS5 console exclusive Deathloop has been delayed to Q2 2021. This is Liam Croft, Liam Croft of PushSquare.com. Well, that's one less PlayStation 5 launch game to look forward to. Arcane Lion has made the understandably difficult decision to delay Deathloop to Q2 2021, meaning it will miss the launch of Sony's next gen console by a considerable number of months. The team states that it will share another update on the game soon, but the delay is an essential one as the world continues to battle the coronavirus pandemic and working from home. In a statement to Twitter, the developer said, "Our ambition for Deathloop is to deliver a signature Arcane game that takes you to never before seen places in a stylish new world. At the same time, the health and safety of everyone at Arcane, Leon or Lion, remains at our top priority. As we've adjusted to working from home, we found delivering this new and exciting experience at the polish and quality level that defines both an Arcane game and a true next gen experience is taking longer than normal." How'd you feel about this? I didn't realize this was going to be a launch game, and I was excited for this game, but I guess it's
Mhm.
a bummer that it's been they have to push it, but also understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know it was launch. I assumed it was like Q1 2021 or something. But yeah, no, it's a shame. I mean, it makes sense with COVID and everything. I think we're going to see a huge amount of delays still to come. So yeah, I think Deathloop looks great as well. I think it's important that they, make sure it's how they need it to be. And yeah, I'm really excited to play Deathloop. Actually, it sounds it looks really really good.
Yeah, and I love arcane games. I'm a huge fan of Dishonored, and I need to play through the actual Prey game again. I think I started at the beginning, never finished it, but I love how
Mhm.
they let you move through the world and just doing it from everything from first person. This one seems to lie more on the gunplay, which is cool, and
Yeah.
so it's a bummer. But I didn't realize it wasn't going to be a launch game. So maybe if they didn't say anything, I don't know if anybody would have noticed, and they just kind of could
Mhm.
have kept trucking along.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's quite weird. I don't remember it ever, like, because I'm sure, because even when we watched the thing where they showed gameplay of it last, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it would have been like quite a big thing for it to be a launch game. So
Right.
I mean, maybe it just went over our heads, but yeah, I mean, Q2 2021. It's a good way away, but I think it'll just build more and more hype for it. Because as much as I'm really excited for it, I don't think it has that like massive generated hype for it yet.
Yeah.
So perhaps coming out, I mean, if we're saying the PS5 maybe November, December time, maybe that was a bit early for it considering the amount of hype it has. So this just gives it time to build up more of an audience, and yeah, gives them time to polish it and bring it to the quality they need.
Yeah, I agree. I guess with this one out of the way, what does the PS5 launch lineup look like? So we have Miles Morales is going to be a launch game, and
Hmm.
beyond that, just kind
I
of
mean,
blanking. I know
Ratchet and Clank, is it? Is that a launch?
I want to say that's launch. So we got that one down. I know there's third party stuff for sure. There's Assassin's Creed. You
Assassin's
got
Creed, yeah,
and then Cyberpunk will be already launched by that time.
yeah.
Whether there's like the next gen update by then or not, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, beyond that, it's not a whole lot of excuses unless I'm blanking on them. But
Hopefully, that's when the new Battlefield will come into play as well. Because I mean, they've already said that there's lots they haven't even announced yet that will be launching with the PS5. So hopefully, there's yeah, a lot more to see. But for me, I think Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank, they're two strong,
oh
they're
yeah,
very strong games, and they're both Insomniac, which is kind of strange, but
so they're doing most of the work
impressive at the
there.
same time. Yeah, yeah, they need a. Well, I was about to say they need like a pay rise, but I think Sony only recently gave them like billions of dollars, didn't they? So
Yeah.
um, they should work hard.
As long as they have a Fall Guys there with the next gen update, then I think we're good for
Yeah.
PS5. So yeah, we'll move on. Let's see, we got the next one here is Sony working on next generation VR headset, but it might not be PSVR. This is Joe Scrabbles of IGN. Sony is developing a next generation VR headset, but it may well not be related to PlayStation VR. A job listing spotted by Upload VR explains that Sony is hiring a team to create a next generation VR head mounted display. However, this device is being developed with a view to 5 years from now. And the listing has been posted by the core Sony Corporation, rather than Sony Interactive Entertainment, which created the original PSVR headset. While a PSVR 2 has yet to be confirmed, we've seen Sony working on touch-sensitive controllers, and we know that PS5 will continue to support the original PSVR model, so it seems likely that PlayStation will continue its association with VR. However, it's entirely possible that the core Sony Corporation is working on VR to different ends alongside SIE's work on PSVR, and the 5-year timeline for this particular headset seems to point to a next generation of VR itself rather than the console gaming. Yeah, I saw this news come up, and I guess I'm just thinking, what is the plan for PSVR 2? Do they really
Mm,
hold off quite a ways, or I know we're expecting them to not have anything this year, I imagine, but like, what is the plan for PSVR 2?
yeah. Yeah. I would have thought we would have at least heard something by now. I genuinely thought that when the PS5 was announced, there would have been something along with it. But maybe not. I mean, I don't know. It all sounds very complicated. With the different listings and the a view to 5 years from now kind of thing. Because there certainly needs to be something between now and 5 years
Right, by five
to
years from
sort
now,
of
like
cover
there's going to
that.
be other stuff on the market that's going to blow.
Yeah.
Our PSVR already has kind of or bare bones, features. So
Yeah.
yeah, you want to kind
Hmm.
of make a future proof. But I guess
Yeah.
what would they innovate
Yeah. So
on with PSVR two?
I think just easier to more accessible to use, just less of a faff. Um, I think better controllers. I think something better than the Move controllers. Obviously, much better resolutions needed. I think the PSVR 720p, I want to say,
Mm,
um, and obviously higher just performance in general. I think it just needs a lot of tidying, especially with things like the Quest out now. Needs a huge amount of tidying, and yeah, it just needs to be a lot more high quality. It needs to take advantage of that powerful machine. Um, so yeah, I think a second iteration is definitely needed because the first PlayStation VR was very much it's kind of like a ghetto version of VR, isn't it? Like so that they could
right.
sort of sell it for the price they could. Um, with all those cables everywhere. So yeah, I'm excited to see something a bit neater, a bit nicer, a bit more appetizing. So yeah, so hopefully, I mean, it might be that they're sort of trying to wait it out. They might know that there's going to be like a slow period next year, or maybe even just after the PS5 comes out if the launch library's not that good. So they might be just holding off on an announcement to, wait till they need to generate some more hype because they seem to be quite good at doing that. Um, but yeah, yeah, no, hopefully we'll see something soon.
Yeah, it seems like with PSVR, the Vita kind of had to die for PSVR to take over that development space, and it's almost like they just
Yeah,
kind of reconfigured whatever screens they had on the Vitas and just kind of said, hey, we can use this for a PSVR
Mhm.
and duct tape a headset to it. But yeah, if they could innovate, the cords are a problem. I've always read the issues with the way the cords are set up. There's that little box that does a lot of the
Yeah,
processing as well. Do you think with the
yeah.
PS5 would it be powerful enough where you can just have it wireless or plug it in directly to the PS5 and maybe that could get rid of that middleman processor unit?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know whether that processing box is like obviously it's there because the PlayStation 4 is probably not quite powerful enough to on its own output what it needs. But I mean, does the Pro still need it? Do you still need the box for the Pro?
I believe so.
I'm not sure if that processor box is like just needed. It's like a piece of that VR that makes it work or something. Because it's more like it seems to be more like a splitter in a way that sort of like splits something off.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm not
Gotcha.
sure about that, but yeah, I think the main thing is just the cables. There's so many of them. They're so thick. Even like just looking in a bubble of like where you're sat with it. I mean, you've got this cable that sort of runs around and comes down there, and it's massive as well, really big, and
Yep.
yeah, it could definitely do with some tidying up. But yeah, I love the PSVR. I think it's a great headset. Even now, where it looks even more outdated than before with the newer headsets out now, I think it's a great piece of kit, and I think it's a great priced as well. But yeah, there definitely needs to be a new iteration for the PS5 for sure.
And I would argue PSVR has helped VR in general because it's made it maybe the
Mhm.
most approachable way to jump into VR. I guess now with
Yeah,
Oculus Quest, that's the most recent standalone headset where you don't need anything. You just have the unit and that's it. You download games straight to it. But before that, it's
mhm,
like you needed a PC, you needed
yeah,
Oculus Rift, all these other ones, HTC. So if you this was a
yeah,
great way to get people that already have a PS4, they spend another 400
yeah,
bucks, 300 bucks and they got the
mhm,
they have VR. So but yeah, now
yeah,
times have changed. They need to, innovate. I'm sure that's what they're working on because I think they don't normally just abandon stuff, with the exception of Vita. They don't normally abandon
yeah.
stuff too quickly, and so I think
No,
unless they had plans to like bring some other kind of mobile thing back to life, then I would say
yeah,
okay, well, they're going to switch gears to something else. But it seems
yeah,
like because Vita's
and
dead, now it's PSVR the whole way.
they abandoned the Vita the day it came out as well, whereas they've actually like supported the PlayStation VR.
Right.
Um, so yeah, you'd hope, yeah, hopefully they're going to do something. They're going to invest into it. It definitely makes sense to do that.
I would like
But
to
yeah, I think
see.
even
Go ahead.
okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, it's a tangent, but I would like to see Xbox, at least not, they don't have to develop their own thing, but at least let it be
Mhm,
compatible with Series X. If it's going to be this crazy powerhouse of technology,
mhm.
let me plug in my Oculus Quest, whatever device I have, and
Yeah,
play VR games through Microsoft Store or whatever.
yeah, that would be a really good idea for Microsoft to get in on that. I mean, they've got their HoloLens, which is something I haven't heard about in ages, but that technology is like insane. Like,
Right.
I saw a presentation of it once at some indie dev conference, and they were saying then that these are the things that will eventually replace mobile phones because that they can do everything a mobile phone does, but just and so much more. And they just wear them on your face. They're just like glasses, and even now, like the development versions of them look like something like from the future.
Hmm.
So Microsoft have definitely got their sort of fingers in at least mixed reality. So I'm surprised that they haven't, sort of tried piggybacking on that, but they might be waiting for the best opportunity to do so. Because I mean, they've got all this HoloLens tech, and they might just be waiting before really pushing for that because they've got a lot of other things I think that Microsoft need to straighten out. I don't think they have any room to experiment at the moment because they need to make sure that they've got games first and foremost.
Right.
Um, yeah, but yeah, I'd be very surprised if in say 4 or 5 years time Microsoft didn't have VR games on their platform as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't, and they don't even have to develop their own tech. They can just make sure it's compatible with stuff, and that's kind of the way they've gone. Where rather than focus on their own stuff, they're just making sure that you can play their games wherever, on PC, on Xbox. So it also makes sense for VR units. You have your own, it works, and it's just in their ecosystem, and it's compatible. So, and I would imagine that Microsoft maybe has deeper pockets than Sony too, so they could spend the time and maybe more money developing stuff. But they've just been around. Man, I can't say longer than Sony, but I feel like they're just maybe more successful with all their products, with all the PC stuff. but maybe
Yeah,
not. Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, but I feel like they would have a bit more money than Sony.
yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll see. That's PSVR news. Really, we're gonna wait to see what they are working on. I'm sure they're working on something behind the scenes. But this one was this next article was kind of surprise dropped as Sony does, and it was a cool feature. So this is a Ghost of Tsushima Legends, a free online co-op mode arriving in fall 2020. This is Adam Bankhurst of IGN. Ghost of Tsushima Legends, a free online co-op mode, will be available to owners of the PS4 exclusive in fall 2020. Legends is a new experience and doesn't feature Jin Sakai or his companions, but instead focuses on 4 warriors who have been built up as legends in stories told by the people of Tsushima. While Ghost of Tsushima's single-player campaign focuses on open world and exploring the natural beauty of the island, the new co-op mode is haunting and fantastical, with locations and enemies inspired by Japanese folktales and mythology, and an emphasis on cooperation, combat, and action. Legends will be exclusively co-op, and it can be played with friends or via online matchmaking in groups of 2 to 4 players. There will also be 4 different classes: the samurai, hunter, ronin, or assassin, and each one will have unique advantages and abilities that will be revealed in the future. Ghost of Tsushima Legends will be free to players who own the PS4 exclusive, and developers have confirmed to IGN it will not feature any microtransactions of any kind. What do you think of this news? It was pretty cool to see this drop randomly on like Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely awesome. I didn't see it coming at all. I'm really intrigued as to how it will work. I like how it's sort of completely separate as well. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how that goes. I'm not sure if I have sort of anyone to play it with, so I'll probably have to do normal matchmaking. But yeah, no, it'll be awesome. Hopefully there'll be some new trophies to get as well, because I did get the platinum trophy, so
Not to brag, but
not to brag, but no, it's really cool. I think it's awesome that it's free to everybody, and it sounds like it's really exploring a completely different part of the game as well. So yeah, that's really cool addition. And also with COVID, I mean, I imagine that that they're having to work from home and everything, so it's awesome that they've able to pull this off, so quickly and so easily.
yeah, no, this one is nuts. I mean, I don't think anyone expected it. Oftentimes, stuff will leak. There's like rumblings in that whole industry, but I haven't heard any people talk about this online. Jason Schreier wasn't, spilling the beans or anything
Mm,
like that. But
mm,
yeah, this is great. I'm surprised that it's free. I mean, you could, if not charge separately for this, you could do some kind of microtransaction that's easily just like customizable stuff on your body. Just like just features like that don't affect the gameplay. But the
yeah,
fact that they're just going, hey, it's all free. They just want to get you in there. That's great. This is really building this as just a stronger, exclusive and new thing for Sony to just lean into. This is another get for PlayStation.
yeah. Yeah, it's really good. And yeah, I think like you're saying with the microtransactions and not having to charge, I think that's just all down to, obviously, Ghost of Tsushima did awesomely in sales, and also, as we were saying earlier, PlayStation recently gave Insomniac billions and billions of dollars, and they probably got their like financial support anyway. So yeah, so they don't really they probably don't have that many people to have to please, and investors and all this kind of stuff. So
True.
they can just do what the players want, and it's only going to make people more and more enticed with PlayStation as a brand, enticed with Ghost of Tsushima, and yeah, it's a really good move, and yeah, I can't wait to play. I like how they're going into that like mystical, more fantastical stuff as well, because the when that was in the normal Ghost of Tsushima game, I think those bits were really cool as well. So it'd be nice to explore sort of that a lot more.
Yeah, no, I agree. What a great entry point with using the legends of folklore. I feel like some of
Mm,
the recent Assassin's Creeds did that, where there would be like these. I remember seeing trailers for it because I know in what Odyssey you can go into Atlantis somehow. So they do
mm,
lean into the mythology and let these
yeah,
separate missions where you can do that. So I like that they're also leaning into that with Tsushima.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Nice, Callum. So you mentioned this is a kind of a good feature for players, and they're kind of they don't have any reason to leave a bad taste in people's mouth. But let's jump forward to this next one. This is the way not to do it, I guess. This is 505 Games attempts to explain Control's PS5 upgrade scandal. So Sammy Barker of PushSquare.com has the article. Control publisher 505 Games caused controversy last week when it revealed that only players of the third-person shooter's new Ultimate Edition will be able to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version for free. If you own the original, regardless of whether you have the season pass or not, you'll be bang out of luck. Following a heavy backlash, the organization's attempt to explain its decision, quote, the upgrade path that we are offering is only possible when upgrading from the same version of the game. A statement reads, as we are only doing additional development on Control Ultimate Edition on the next-gen platforms, we are unfortunately unable to offer an upgrade path to all existing Control players. We understand how this might upset a number of players, but you'll still be able to play the 2019 edition of Control and each expansion on the new platforms. The publisher points out that the original version will still be playable on PS5 using backwards compatibility, but obviously it won't benefit from any of the upgrades that are being implemented as part of the Ultimate Edition. The problem for 505 Games is that no matter how it tries to explain the decision, it ultimately boils down to we want more money, and while we appreciate the fact that developer Remedy is investigating or investing additional work to enhance the experience for PS5, the reality is that other companies are offering free PS4 to PS5 upgrades, irrespective of which version of the game you own. Yeah, this was not more, not a better reaction. Like we thought maybe they could kind of change gears, but they have
Yeah,
no incentive
it
to.
made it
But
worse.
yeah,
It's like literally all they've said is, "Oh, well, the reason is because we're only upgrading Ultimate Edition." Like that's literally what they said. Like
right.
we're only doing development on Control Ultimate Edition. Like just do it do it the other way around. Do the standard edition and then also upgrade all the stuff the Ultimate Edition has, and then you can have both. It's just it's just
Yeah, they
stupid.
mentioned, I think further in that article, they talk about how they have two SKUs now because they have the standard and the ultimate. And they were
Mm,
kind of explaining that as being an issue, why they can't upgrade it. But it's all bullshit. I mean, this is,
yeah.
especially if it's backwards compatible on PS5, there's got to be something where you can unlock and just like tweak features,
Hmm.
just like on a PC version of the game, where you can just kind of
Yeah.
like upgrade the shaders and textures, and they're just choosing basically, and they're showing now, revealing that they're choosing to not let people do that as some kind of
Yeah.
incentive to buy this Ultimate Edition, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
And I
just
want,
seen actually on. I don't know if you've seen. We've had a question.
oh, gotcha. I was checking the chat, but
Saying,
I looked away for a second.
yeah. Uh, it says I'm going to have to buy a remastered version of God of War and Last of Us 2 to be able to play it on PS5. And I think the answer is you're going to have to buy the Ultimate Edition of both,
Right.
and then you'll be able to play them on PS5.
And then you send a voucher, a $20 voucher to Sony, and then they
Yeah,
decide.
yeah, yeah. No, I
No,
think
it's
I think too. I think Last of Us 2 and God of War will definitely be backwards compatible, won't they? They'll be at least backwards
right.
compatible. I imagine Last of Us 2 will probably even upgrade because of how new it is. But yeah, I can't imagine you have to buy another version, um, unless like Santa Monica do a 505 games and make you buy an ultimate edition of God of War. But I think Santa Monica are like the complete opposite of that kind of studio. I mean, Corey Barlog came out and said, how he hates DLC and he would
Right.
never have DLC or microtransactions or anything. So I think that's sort of the same kind of sort of thought process. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to play all those games on PS5 without a hitch.
Although remastered, Last of Us had a remastered edition that was what,
Mm,
$30 or something. They did charge more for
yeah,
an
yeah,
upgraded
they did actually.
version.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
did that come with? I want to say that came with that the DLC that had happened over the summer,
Mm.
over that year. The not Gone Home. It's oh dang, I'm blanking on it. Left Behind.
Left Behind.
Yeah, I want to say
Yeah,
it had that included. So at least there was some kind of deal involved where you had more content.
yeah.
But still, it's just it's very weird to especially when you have, like in the article they mentioned the other companies that are having free upgrades, and you want
Mhm.
to try and give as much incentive as you can going in next gen because these consoles are going to be super expensive. Our consoles currently play things really well, so it's like, and you're dealing with a pandemic too, people out of work, so you kind of want to try and give people more incentive to upgrade to these next gen machines, and by offering those free upgrades, that's the way you do it. But to now
Yep.
require them to buy the game again just to take advantage of that, it's just not consumer friendly at all.
No, and they're underselling their own game as well because it's like, oh, you don't have to buy the Ultimate Edition. You can play normal Control on PS5, but it just won't be the upgraded version.
Right.
And it's like, and
So
and
why
I'm
did I
sure
buy this machine?
Control, already rubbed people the wrong way because of how it performed on PS4 anyway.
That's true. It had issues,
So
and I think they patched it eventually, but it had issues out the
yeah,
gate.
so the least they could do is say, you'll be able to play Control. You know, if you've got Control on PS4, you'll be able to play it on PS5. You know, with all the ray tracing and the performance increase and all of that. But yeah, I just hate their statement as well because it's so what's the word? They're literally just saying what we already know. Like they're literally just saying, "Oh yeah, no, we can't do that because we're only doing it for the Ultimate Edition." It's like, yeah, we know that's the problem. Like,
Right. It's a legal speak
and
or
then
like a PR kind of spin.
yeah, yeah, and how they say like we understand how this might upset a number of players. It's like, well, don't do it then. Like, it's just
Right. And you're
yeah,
upsetting all the
I think
players that currently have this game.
this is going to bode really poorly for 505 games, to be honest, because I don't, from what I've heard, I don't think Control did particularly well commercially. So I don't think they have room to um, mess around with people like this. Because as you know, I've always thought about playing Control, but this has genuinely put me off playing it. Just because it's just so stupid. Like, I'd be playing it and I just wouldn't be able to not think about it.
Right.
It's really irritating, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and they're obviously not going to do the right thing and backtrack and sort it out. But
No.
that's what they want to do. So
No, unless there was I guess, a big enough backlash, but you're dealing with a fan base that's already so small that they don't have
yeah,
enough, enough presence online to actually create a huge issue. But yeah, you're just
no,
kind of really punishing that original fan base that supported you, and it's a weird game, and it's hard to sell, and you're just hurting those people that are there from you day one, and it's just
hmm
it's a bummer. But I do get the sense that this is 505 making the decision as the publisher. And maybe it's because, hey, Control didn't sell well. If we can try and get people to pay another $60 going in next gen and not give them some kind of free upgrade, we got to make some money there. And that's just this corporate machine moving.
hmm
And the irony though is that Remedy's left with no control over what's going on, and the
yeah,
game is called Control, and they're just kind of
yeah,
stuck going, well, we made this deal, we can't do anything about
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. It's a shame. Yeah, 'cause actually, yeah, you're right. I didn't even put that together because I'm too stupid. Um, yeah, there's 505 are the ones that publish it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
made a deal a
it's
while back
it's
for a crazy amount of money.
Yeah. It's a shame as well because I mean there were talks about Remedy being bought by Xbox a while ago, and then there were talks about Remedy being bought by PlayStation more recently. So it's a shame. I think they would have been treated much better. But I mean, we've just seen what's happened with Insomniac's, Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm sure that will get a free upgrade, and all these games will. But so yeah, so it's a shame that they've gone with someone like 505 that are so money orientated. Not to say that they shouldn't. I mean, I know that money is the thing that allows them to make these games, but they've got to think about what they're doing, and I doubt that's really gonna if Control really was a commercial dud. I really don't think this is gonna is gonna change that. I don't think.
Right.
I mean, why are people suddenly going to buy it now just because you're doing something really horrible that are going to upset everyone? Which doesn't make any sense to me. But maybe it does make sense, and that's why I'm not a CEO of a company or
You have a heart, Calum. That's why it doesn't make sense to you. These people
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I was thinking, like, at the very least, what about a $5, $10 fee to unlock,
yeah,
the features? That still leaves a bad taste in people's mouth, but at least that's some kind of path. But to make them
yeah,
pay another, full blown price, retail price for this
yeah.
game is just, it's annoying. Like,
And
why
I
are you
don't know
doing
why
this?
like they could like they've gone Ultimate Edition with all the DLC
Right,
rather than going base game upgrade, then the DLC, and then the Ultimate Edition. Like that should have been the last thing that they got ready for upgrade. I don't know why they didn't start with the base game.
right.
Yeah, it's just all it's very strange. Very, very strange. And if you think about it, by doing this, people are not going to want to buy it again on PS5 probably out of spite or just to make a point. Whereas if they were like, "Oh yeah, it's going to upgrade for free," but and then it ended up playing really well on PS5, that would probably attract more people to buy it. People like me who still haven't played it. That would
Yeah.
attract me more so to buy it on PS5 if it was like, "Oh, have you seen Control on PS5? It's got really good ray tracing." And there'd be no like negativity around it to stop anyone from buying it. So I think this is actually going to hinder them more than anything else.
Although sometimes I wonder, because we follow the industry and we're nerds, I wonder if everyday people just don't give a shit. Like you, if you remember, The
Yeah.
Last of Us 2 had a lot of backlash with story stuff they decided to do, but that didn't reflect their
Mm.
sales at all. It was actually crazy,
Yeah.
well selling game. So
Yeah.
at a certain point, it's like people see this on the shelf, if there's even shelves to go look at anymore,
Yeah.
and they just go, oh, I'm just going to buy this thing. Or they're perusing the PlayStation Network and they go, oh, I'm just going to buy this. And
Yeah.
they're kind of out of the loop. And maybe I would rather be in their shoes where I'm not following everything so closely and I can just
Yeah.
blindly make a
Yeah.
purchase and have all these
Yeah.
emotions tied to it.
Pretend the games industry isn't absolutely awful.
Yeah. If only we could do that, Kellen.
Yeah.
Well, we'll transition to some happier or more interesting news. We got the just a little bit tidbits about the DualSense. PlayStation 5 has released. Actually, they also are starting this promo now where they're releasing TV trailers for the PlayStation 5, which is pretty neat. So the promo cycle is
Yeah.
starting. That was that link there. But so this was a tweet taken from this whole interview that talks about from the PlayStation blog about these new features in the DualSense. So developers share how adaptive triggers and haptic feedback provide new game experiences on PS5. So the actual tweet is pulled from Nibel, who's this industry insider, always releasing news. So the overview is some devs have commented on DualSense's haptic feedback feature. In Spider-Man Miles Morales, you'll be able to feel where attacks are coming from with the haptic feedback. In Deathloop, if your weapon jams, your triggers will be blocked. So there's actual tension, and they'll just stop the triggers actually from firing. And this was after the fact, but with Gran Turismo, I want to say 5 coming out, 6, they're gonna have ABS locking braking, so the triggers will actually affect how you're braking, and you can kind of there's a limit to how you can push them, and they'll try and replicate like the feeling of braking a bit more realistically. But just some
Yeah.
more info on how the DualSense triggers or controller is going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it sounds cool. It sounds a bit weird though, because I think if the triggers can be blocked by something, then I'm just worried that they're gonna accidentally get blocked, like there's something will malfunction and then I can't push my
I think that's
trigger
a
in.
possibility.
And also I hate games where your weapon can jam. I hate that. It's like having in Far Cry 2, like you're
Right.
shooting and then your weapon jams and it's so annoying. It's like when you play a game and it just adds in things for realism's sake, even though that thing is just there's no way it's ever fun. Like there is nothing fun about a weapon jamming, like ever. Like that is never ever fun. So it's kind of bittersweet for me because I think it's cool that the triggers will be blocked if your weapon jams, but I
Right.
also don't think it's cool that your weapon can jam. But no, it's nice to know that that the haptic feedback is this deep and it's that there's a lot of potential there to do some really cool stuff. I'm really excited to try it because I haven't really used like the Xbox Elite controllers or the because I know the Xbox One controllers have got pretty good haptic feedback. I know that they're quite good for like Forza and all that, but
Yeah.
this seems to be like maybe a step above. It might be on par with the Elite controllers. Again, I don't know. I've never really used them, but at least it doesn't have those stupid paddles on the bottom, so you won't accidentally press buttons all the time. Um, but yeah, no, I'm so excited to try it out. I'm just excited just to hold it in my hands and smell it and taste it and everything.
Yep, same. I'm with you on that. Yeah, no, especially with the Gran Turismo, where they explained how the braking changes how you're when you're at, like you feel
Mhm.
tension in the brakes, like if you're
Yeah,
cutting a hard turn. I really like that
yeah,
idea because that was always with driving games, at least the simulation ones. There's a little bit of disconnect of like how fast am I going, but if I can feel the
yeah,
tension in the brake, that kind of helps me just kind of dial in and makes it more immersive. And so that seems really
yeah.
cool to me. But I love that these devs are actually, and I don't know if they keep this going, and is this just like a touchpad kind of thing with the PS4? But I do want to see them really try and tailor, if it works, tailor these new features with their game.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I want to see it supported for more than just the launch library because that's normally what happens is the launch
Yeah.
library has all these new features and then, I mean, hopefully it'll be. I think the because my mind sort of harpers back to the when the touchpad first came for the PS4 and you sort of saw it at first, but I think to be fair, like exclusive games did always use it in some way. So hopefully PS5 exclusives will always sort of, take advantage of this. And I think that'll probably, with Sony breathing down the necks of all their studios who are making these games and, overseeing a lot of the sort of major decisions, hopefully that's something they'll push, as like the owner of these studios is pushing to make sure the dual sense is getting everything sort of squeezed out of it. So yeah, it'll be really cool. I think it'll definitely change the way games feel, and yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope that I'll be interested to see how they work with PCs as well. Because it's taken only
Yeah.
till recently for DualShock 4s to be like really native with PC. So I'm hoping that they'll make sure that the drivers are compatible straight away, and maybe haptic feedback can be sort of assigned to games that support it on PC. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works as well.
That's a good point to bring up because I didn't realize that you're right with PS4 controllers. I think I have to have mine always plugged in, and if not, you have to
Mhm.
buy some kind of Bluetooth dongle thing with the PS4.
Yeah,
I could be wrong,
yeah,
but especially with now that we have two huge games that are PlayStation exclusives now on PC, you think that they should kind of play nice a little bit with PC with letting that DualSense,
mhm.
go over and
Yeah,
actually work the way it should and be wireless and
yeah.
have some of the features. Like you think they would lean into that, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, they're much better now with the PS4 controllers. I mean, my keyboard's got like a USB slot in it, so I'm able to
Oh,
just plug
fancy.
a cable into my keyboard and then into controllers. So I don't really need to even have it wireless or anything. And yeah, it works really well now. It used to be you'd have to download like third-party software that would like
Yeah, that's
make
what I did.
your PC think it's an Xbox controller. But now, especially with Steam, where they've got their big picture mode and everything, and now Steam Link's like a bigger thing as well. Yeah, it seems to be that DualShock 4s work straight away now. And yeah, you're right. Connecting them via Bluetooth's easy, but not all PCs have Bluetooth, so sometimes you need to get a dongle for them to have that. Um, but yeah, so yeah, hopefully that will be more at the forefront of their mind because, like you said, they've got recent games coming out on PC, so hopefully it's something that they've already thought about.
Yeah, we'll see. Hoping that they're a bit more conscious, this next go with PS5.
Yeah,
But we will see. We have some these last two ones are really just rumors, and I think that's why I kind of have the bare bones information. But before I transition to the next one, so there was a little bit of scuttlebutt online of a Demon Souls, the remake that's on PS5. It got rated recently in Korea and Japan, and so the rumors now that it's going to be a PS5 launch game. But this is Gematsu has the original article, which I didn't copy and paste. But that's basically what's going on, and there isn't a whole lot to grab onto. It's just been rated, in Japan and Korea. And usually when
yeah,
they're rated, there's an imminent release. Are you excited for that Demon Souls remake?
yeah. I am in a weird way. I have a weird relationship with Dark Souls. I've only ever played the first Dark Souls, and I liked it when I had it, but it's one of those games where I think back on it, I don't think I do like it very much just because of how rigid it is. It's very stiff. And apparently Dark Souls 2 and 3 are much better in that respect. But again, I've never played them. But I love Bloodborne. I love Sekiro. So yeah, I'm really excited to see this. I never played Demon Souls when it first came out. And I think it's just like when there's a new console, you just want to play everything that comes out on it, don't you? So
Right.
yeah, for some reason it really has grabbed me, and the trailer looked beautiful as well. I mean, because I knew that there was going to be a Demon Souls remake, but when that trailer came on, and I was like, "What is this?" Because it just looked so nice. It looked far better than I thought the remake would have looked. So yeah, exciting stuff. Yeah, hopefully it'll be that'll be a really good launch game as well.
That'd be
I
awesome.
mean, for me, I know that this isn't and this shouldn't be the most popular opinion, but for me, like three big games like Demon Souls, Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, and maybe a Battlefield. I mean, that's perfect for me. That's four very different games, and Gran Turismo 7. That's five very, very different games. Covers all the genres. I think that's perfect. And obviously, we'll have all the smaller games that come out on launch. I remember on PS4 you had like Resogun and that
Yep.
Contrast game. Yeah, I think the launch library sounding good, and if this is true that this is going to be a launch game, I think yeah, I think it's sounding fine. I think people forget how quickly games come out, after that launch window. A
Right.
month, 2 months. So you just need a few games to tide you over. And me and you, we're both used to having big horrible backlogs. So I think for people like us, we like having manageable libraries of games to play through. I think there's far too many games coming out on PS4 all the time,
Oh yeah.
and I just like the idea of having a few games to get through because it's just much nicer. But saying that, I don't think that that can ever happen because of my backlog now. Like there could be one game released for PS5 for the first year, and I'd still have too many games to play.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's also you mentioned the excuse me, the launch lineup. I mean, traditionally, if you look past to the recent launches of different consoles, the launch lineup isn't always that super strong. Like you have one or two ones to get you in there, but a lot of it's third party stuff, or you have, Madden, you have your Call of Duty, but that's really what kind of fills in the lineup for a launch. And so already with Sony having
yeah,
possibly these three really strong stuff out of the gate, I mean that's awesome, and
yeah.
that's not a lot of what you see. And we have now Halo out of the mix with Xbox Series X. I don't know what they have. If they have at least one more strong one, then maybe they can lean into that. But I don't know what they have that's exclusive to bring you there
Hmm.
first. So if you can
Yeah.
have
Well,
three, I mean, that's awesome.
I'm just looking at the PlayStation 4 launch lineup, and you've got. I mean, I might as well. There's not actually that many, so I might as well go through them all. But you've got
Yeah.
like Angry Birds Star Wars, which isn't even really worth mentioning,
Whoa,
by the
we'll
way.
stop there because I
Um,
mean, that's pretty big.
you got Assassin's Creed 4, which I mean will that's the same as Valhalla. Valhalla will be a launch game. Battlefield 4, which actually surprisingly might be the same game that's going to be out for
Right.
PS5. So there'll probably be a Battlefield game. Call of Duty Ghosts, there'll be the new Call of Duty. That'll be a launch game. That Contrast game I was just saying about, Dive Kick, whatever that is.
I don't remember that.
FIFA will be a launch game. Um, Injustice. I think that was like a that's a I think that was like a remake version as well.
Yeah.
Killzone Shadowfall, Knack, a Lego game, Madden NBA, Need for Speed. All these games are. I'd actually probably argue that PS5 has a much better launch lineup than that. I mean, 'cause if you look at like the real PS4 exclusives that came out then, all you've got is Killzone Shadowfall and Knack. And like out of those two, I think Killzone Shadowfall is the only. So Killzone Shadowfall is the only decent new PS4 game
Right.
in that lineup. And if you think about PS5, we've got Ratchet and Clank, Miles Morales, maybe Demon Souls, plus all these other third party games. Plus, it will actually be backwards compatible, which the PS4 wasn't. So you'll be able to play some of your PS4 games anyway.
Yep.
You'll have games not like Control, but games that you'll be able to upgrade for free. So yeah, I don't really agree with the conversation about the launch lineup not being good because you just got to look at the other launch lineups, and
Yeah.
I think this is already stronger than the PS4's launch lineup by a million miles. Um, so yeah, so I don't think we've got a lot to worry about really.
No, and it's always the case. Yeah, the first year, really, the once you're into the second year, that's when stuff gets interesting. You get these really
Yeah,
good exclusives and
yeah,
interesting games coming out. I think even like Infamous Second Son, that was pushed into that next year after that, so that was a bit further
yeah,
down. And
yeah,
that's like maybe the next big exclusive I can think of that was a PS4 exclusive around that time. And
yeah.
then also this is a third party or a multi-platform game, but there was that zombie game. I'm blanking on the name. But you could run around and collect items. It was kind of like Dead Island, but it was not that. And there was traversing. It was like parkour and stuff. But that
Oh,
was
Dying Light.
Dying Light. Yeah, I know that was in kind of
Yeah,
a lull where it was maybe February ish, and it sold
hmm,
really well because there just wasn't anything else around at that time.
yeah.
And so there's
They're still supporting that actually. I saw
oh yeah,
there's a new DLC coming out for that. A brilliant game as well, Dying Light.
yep,
Probably one of the most surprisingly brilliant games I've ever played. But yeah, it's a weird. I mean, Dying Light's a weird one because I loved it, but I just never played it again after I completed it. I just never went back to it or played any of the DLC. But
yeah,
because that's another one. The sequel. I mean, whenever that comes out, that sounds really exciting. They've got a lot of. They brought on a huge amount of like RPG writing talent. I think they took a lot of people from BioWare and Obsidian. I think one of Obsidian's lead writers is now working there,
yeah.
which makes sense with the approach they've got with all the different choices you can make. And so yeah, just quick, just I know I went on a tangent, and but yeah, just reminded me. I always forget about Dying Light, and then every time it's mentioned, I'm like, oh yeah, Dying Light, that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was really the first next gen game that I got to play on the PS4. I think when the reviews came out for it, that's when I really tried hard to push for getting the PS4. And I think I had sold my PS3 to kind of exchange it for the PS4. I remember that,
Yeah,
there's some drama that
yeah,
happened then, but, yeah, so that was the first one I got to try, and it was full blown next gen, and the graphics were awesome, so it hit this really awesome time where there just wasn't a lot, released around that time, so it filled this
yeah,
gap really well, and I think that's also helped the
yeah,
sales.
yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we didn't get. I think weirdly, Killzone Shadowfall was like. I mean, like Killzone always is. It was like way ahead of its time even then. Um, and I mean, and then you see Horizon, and that sort of just as like groundbreaking. So I think
Right.
you normally get like one launch lineup game, which is like mind blowing, but then it takes, like you said, like a year or so to get the next one. But it'll be interesting to see because I think the big emphasis with the PS5 is how much easier it is to develop these games and how much easier it is to make them look good and how much
Yep.
easier, especially with Unreal Engine 5 now coming out. It should hopefully be easier for developers to make these things and understand this technology without having to like hit the reset button on sort of what they sort of understand. Um, and I mean, if you just look at Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank, they both look just unbelievable in terms of their like technical quality and everything. And even the games that you're going to be able to upgrade to PS5 on launch day, they already look amazing on PS4. I can't imagine what I mean. Games like Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us
Yep.
2 are going to look like on that new console. So it's really really exciting. I can't wait, and um, hopefully we'll be finding out a price soon and be able to pre-order them because I'm very scared of missing out.
Yeah, that's the next issue. And I was thinking about that this week as Call of Duty was teasing their announcement. I'm thinking, okay, they have that deal with Sony has that deal with Activision to kind of premiere their stuff there first, or at least get like content there first. When
Mhm.
they are teasing this announcements this week for to show that new Call of Duty, I'm thinking, okay, are we maybe going to get a PS5 total event that's also included in? But it seems like they're
Yeah,
just kind of doing their own announcements separate. So that was giving me hopes
yeah,
that because we're getting towards the end of August now, it's like I would say
yeah.
hopefully this
Really
week
close.
they do that surprise drop where they say this week we're going to show you PS5 news, and then they go for Thursday.
Yeah,
But it's got to be this week or
yeah,
next week because we're getting into September. I feel like we can't
yeah.
leave August without a date on both these consoles.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the sort of silver lining to that is because it is an exceptionally short period of time we're going to have before it comes out. But I think that's quite exciting because we're going to pre-order these things, and in a couple of months we'll have them,
That's very true.
which is going to be. I don't know how that works logistically. I don't know whether that's going to like make production really difficult because they're going to have all these orders and then 2 months to get them all ready to be shipped out. I mean, I don't know
Right.
how all that works. I might be wrong there, um, but yeah, it'll be nice because when I pre-ordered the PS4, I pre-ordered that like back in June, and then it didn't come out till the November, so I had to wait sort of like half a year, pretty much. Whereas this is like what, a couple of months, maybe like
Yeah.
2 months
Two
at
months.
least, and then we've got it. So I suppose that's quite a nice way because all of our impatient sort of ness has come from seeing the actual machine. Now we've seen it. There's not long to go, so we don't have long to be impatient, really, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, that's very true because we're used to summertime or like beginning of summer. You put your pre-order in, and then
Yeah,
you get it that fall. So yeah, at
yeah,
least that's the silver lining. But still, we should
yeah, yeah.
try and
Just
get some
trying
news
to
out.
find the good things.
Right. So yeah, we'll switch to this last one quickly. It's just more rumors. This is a Prince of Persia remake listing pops up on retailer website. This is Brianna Reeves of PlayStationLifestyle.net. A Guatemalan retailer listed seems to suggest a Prince of Persia remake is incoming. Twitter user Ken Zyro spotted the listing, then shared his findings on Twitter. Naturally, the post found its way to Reset Area. According to the listing, the remake will launch on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in November 2020. Apart from the Guatemalan store listings, there's nothing else to suggest the remake is real. As of writing, Ubisoft hasn't so much as teased that Prince of Persia will return in any significant capacity, besides the recently announced VR game Prince of Persia The Dagger of Time. Who knows, maybe Ubisoft truly does have a big surprise up its sleeve. If so, it's possible such news will emerge during September's Ubisoft Forward event. That's their next little stream showing off stuff. Are you a Prince of Persia fan? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I liked the PS2 games, the maybe the first couple. I don't really, I can't remember them that well. I remember them being, they sort of came out around those Legacy of Kain,
Yep.
Devil May Cry sort of time, and I feel like those games all had a very similar kind of feel to them. But yeah, no, it'd be cool to get the sort of PS2 ones back because I think again they're from a period of time where those kind of games are just so much fun. We don't get many games like that anymore. So yeah, that'd be cool. I like the sort of aesthetic of them, and I really liked the film as well. I don't know if you saw the film.
I never watched
It's
it. I
like
just
it's like
remember it got bad reviews, but was it good?
yeah, it's just like a really like easy action film, like action adventure film. Yeah, I know I really liked it. Yeah, it was good fun. Um, so yeah, I'll be happy with a so what is this, like a remake? Is it or
That's the rumors that it's a full blown
yeah?
remake, not a remaster. So
Because I know that because they had that like that sort of cell shaded cartoony one that
they
came out.
did. Was it like 2010, 2009, something like that?
Yeah,
There was
and I
that
remember
reboot.
like you couldn't die in it or something. Like if you fell, you were like saved,
Yeah, you
which
just
I
like
thought was really
teleported
odd.
back. It
Yeah.
was strange. Yeah,
Um, yeah, so yeah, I'll definitely be up for a Prince of Persia remake. I think that's another IP that could do with having a spot in the market at the moment.
yeah. And they'll make sure and throw some microtransactions in there too, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and to be honest, Ubisoft, apart from all the stuff that's been happening behind the scenes with them and all the crap they've been
Ah,
saying, I think from a making games perspective, because they like delayed all their games, didn't they? Because they
they
sort of
did.
realized that all of their games were actually really shit. So they delayed them all, and so this could be a cool thing, a nice resurgence for them. Assassin's Creed obviously looks great. Um, Watch Dogs Legions looks like a lot of fun. So yeah, this could be another solid title for them to add to their sort of list.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. I am interested to see what they would reboot this franchise to look like, and maybe lean into that
Mhm.
original one a bit more. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's if this is real, that's really cool. And
yeah,
that's really it for us this week, Callum. Where got anything of note coming up, or any stuff happening this week?
probably, but I don't not in my brain right now. But
Yeah. Well, where can they find you
well,
online?
yeah. Twitter at Bear Monroe is normally where I lurk the most. But yeah, I don't know. I was literally just thinking then. I was trying to think like, what should I play now? I think I might get back into Dead Cells because that seemed like a bit of fun. So
Nice.
give that a download or something. But yeah,
Nice. Well, yeah, we'll end it there. You can also find us on Twitter as well at Plastic Heart Pod. And yeah, that's it for us this week, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
see you later.